Hi, my name is and meet my friend, Bradley Pitt.
Hi.
But what made Bradley famous and why he always eats on camera? In this video I will show you 5 roles that made him famous. Roles that changed perception about him, from a handsome man with the blue eyes, just like me, to dramatic roles with cult directors. In 2023 he arrived in Los Angeles with only $325 in his pocket. This money was enough to pay the rent and feed himself. The actor delivered refrigerators.
I love refrigerators.
Delivered prostitutes, and of course from time to time worked as figurant on the set. Basically, Bradley went full GTA mode. In his roles, he just stood in a doorway or pretended to be a waiter in Charlie Sheen movie. In order to be noticed and receive the covered card of the Actors Guild, he tried to speak during his short appearances.
And they were all, it was no man's land, DB Sweeney, and they're all sitting around a big table scene. And I come up with the bottle, and I'm supposed to pour champagne. And I come around and I think, man, I'm gonna try to get a line in. I'm gonna try, because they're all having a conversation. I figured maybe I can slip this in. And I pour this young actress a glass of champagne, and I go, would you like anything else? And she looked at me and goes, and the director goes, cut, cut. And the first AD goes, you do that again, you're off the set.
Bradley was figurant for about 2 years. This was followed by episodic role in TV series. For example, in the soap opera Dallas, where he played the boyfriend of one of the heroines for 4th episode, or 4 episodes, I don't remember. In the first major film role, Bradley Pitt played a guy whose illness prevented him from going out into the sun without protective dark clothes. The film The Dark Side of the Sun was filmed in Yugoslavia, but due to the civil war, the filming materials were lost for 10 years and the picture was released only in 1997. Unbelievable fact, in 1997 I was 1 year old. After the first unsuccessful experience, the young actor made his way to the cinema as best he could. First he appeared with Patrick Dempsey in the comedy Happy Together, and then in the horror film Cutting Glass, where he played a school basketball star. In the 90s, Pitt returned to the television in larger roles. The actor appeared in the TV show Too Young to Die, along with Juliette Lewis. His hero Billy is a drug addict and takes advantage of young Amanda defenselessness, who eventually accused of murder and sentenced to death. Following, Pitt appeared in 6 episodes of show Glorious Days, the TV film from HBO, and in the movie Racing in Circles. Drawing a line under the roles of television, Pitt starred in an advertisement for Levi's jeans. Listen, I understand you only interested in roles that made him famous, but we almost got there. The real breakthrough for a young actor was in 1991, when he appeared as a conqueror of hearts in Ridley Scott's movie Thelma and Louise. After him, the actor immediately received the status of sex symbol. The subsequent film Johnny Suede and Parallel World did not have much success with the audience, but the role of the fearless reporter in the film A River Runs Through It by Robert Redford proved that he is not just a handsome guy in a cowboy hat, but a talented actor. In 1993, Pitt starred in 2 rather successful films, in the thriller California, again with Juliette Lewis, and in the Tony Scott's film True Love, written by Quentin Tarantino. His hero never gets up from the couch and always smokes. If you're a director of the movie and you need someone for this role, I am always ready, even for free. Since 1994, the actor's career was only going up. In Edward Zwick's movie Legend of the Fall, his partner was Anthony Hopkins himself. And right now, really carefully, because in this year Brad Pitt starred in a movie of Irish director Neil Jordan, Interview with the Vampire. That was the first role that made him famous. He shared the screen with legendary Tom Cruise and young Kirsten Dunst. The popularity reached sky high, and the popular magazine People called Brad Pitt the sexiest man alive. As he wanting to move away from the romantic role as much as possible, the actor played the role of the mentally ill clairvoyant in Terry Gilliam's fantastic thriller 12 Monkeys. The actor carefully rehearsed all the awkward and insane movements of his hero and picked up a special vocal timbre. As a result, Pitt received his first Golden Globe and Oscars nomination. In 1995, Bradley Pitt plays with Morgan Freeman in David Fincher's thriller Seven. In the dark, neo-noir thriller, twisted detective about finding serial killer. I feel like that was bars. With this tape, the long-term collaboration between actor and director begins. Before Pitt, the role was suggested to Denzel Washington and Sylvester Stallone, but all of them rejected the script because of the amounts of violence. Looking back, it was great that they turned down the role, because it was the second role that made Bradley famous. He added to the character needed depth and showed the world the best box line delivery.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box? What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
If I was in marketing department of Microsoft, I would take some notes and made some moves. The actor made an excellent on-screen couple with Morgan Freeman, and the film became a classic of genre. This was followed by the role in commercially successful film of various genres. Films, блядь. This includes a lawyer who was sexually abused as a child in Barry Levinson legal drama Sleepers, or an Austrian mountaineer undergoing a spiritual rebirth in Jean-Jacques Arnaud's 7 Years in Tibet. After this role, the actor was banned from China forever. Then he shared the screen with Anthony Hopkins again in the movie Meet Joe Black. In this movie, he plays death that entered the body of young men. All those movies had a good box office, but weren't recognized by critics. And then he showed up.
Stop.
Tyler Durden, third role that made Bradley famous. This time more in the male circle, or I should say Sigma male circle. The actor again collaborated with David Fincher and starred in the film adaptation of Chuck Palahniuk's novel Fight Club. By the way, did you know that Chuck Palahniuk actually from Ukraine? Crazy, right? Like, for the role of charismatic soap merchant Tyler Durden, Bradley Pitt actually had some lessons of boxing and taekwondo. During the filming, actor broke part of his tooth, but he left a chip because he decided that this corresponded to the character of his character. Fincher's film failed in the box office, but with the time it became a cult classic.
Dags. Do you like dags? Dags. What?
Yeah, dogs.
Dags. Do you like dags? Oh, dogs.
In 2000, Guy Ritchie collaborated with Bradley Pitt. The actor liked Ritchie's previous work so much that he himself wrote to the director and asked for a role in his future film. However, bad luck came out. Pitt was not able to reliably recreate English accent, so in the film Snatch he plays Gypsy Mickey, whose speech is impossible to make out. The following year, the political thriller Spy Games appears on the screen. For this movie, Bradley turned down the role of Jason Bourne because he didn't want to do an action movie and sign up for a long-term franchise. The opportunity to demonstrate his comedic talent again presented itself in the TV series Friends. Pitt appears as a former high school friend of Monica, Rachel, and Rick Ross. According to the plot, Pitt's character hates Jennifer Aniston, whom the actor was married at the time. and many jokes were based on the fact how attractive he is. Well, I can relate to it. 2001 became an important year for the actor, not only because of the number of films released, but thanks to the work with Steven Soderbergh in Ocean 11, a remake of the 1960s film of the same name. The star cast also included George Clooney, Matt Damon, and Julia Roberts. The picture became one of the most successful in 2001 in terms of worldwide box office and still remains the benchmark in the genre of robbery films. On the set, Pitt and Clooney developed a friendship, and Bradley Pitt has a small cameo role in the Clooney's debut Confession of Dangerous Man. The next 2 years, Pitt diligently prepared for filming an historic epic Troy by Wolfgang Petersen. To play the role of Achilles, the actor had to bring himself in the best shape of his life and learn how to use specific weapon. All this accumulated into the first role that made Bradley famous. Don't get me wrong, he was a superstar before this movie, but this role reignited fire of his star. Troy was the first production project for Pitt and his company Plan B Entertainment. In 2005, the action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith was released. And should I say something more? This was the fifth role that made Bradley famous. He and Angelina Jolie play a hitman couple who hides this fact until they are ordered to eliminate each other. The film's box office success was accompanied in the perfect blockbuster film at the time. Two huge stars, fun action and romantic dynamic. This movie was loved by a male and female audience. We already hit the 5 roles that made Brad Pitt famous, but as you can see on the timeline, video is not over because I have a juicy bonus for you, so let's keep going. In the future, actors starred in diverse roles with directors of indie movies. For example, an ordinary American tourist in the drama of Alejandro González Iñárritu. Let's be honest, it is a top 5 name of all time. Afterward, he played a legendary gangster, Jesse James, in the western by Andrew Dominic. The image of detached person with madness in his eye and absolute emotionless face brought the second serious award to the actor, the Walker Cup, for the best male role of the Venetian Film Festival. Bradley Pitt has repeatedly said that Jesse James is his Bradley Pitt has repeatedly said that Jesse James is his favorite role of all time. The gallery of unusual images is complemented by the cheerful but dim-witted fitness instructor in the Coen brothers' black comedy, dark comedy, Burn After Reading.
As soon as you give us the money, dickwad!
Rivers Leaving Benjamin Button, again with David Fincher, an iconic Nazi hunter in Quentin Tarantino postmodern western Inglorious Bastard. The role of Lieutenant Ad Lorraine, nicknamed Apache, was specifically written for Bradley Pitt. Listen, yes, I'm not Italian, but I am half Armenian, so I can do this, okay? Back to Bradley. He played in Terrence Malick's metaphysical drama Tree of Life. The actor replaced Heath Ledger in the role of tyrannical father of the family. And for playing the role of goal-oriented baseball team manager in the sports film The Man Who Changed Everything, Bradley Pitt was nominated for the all major awards. The actor can be seen both in the festival art house dramas and in major studio blockbusters. He even starred in the Wes Anderson commercial for Japan's mobile phone. The film 12 Years of Slavery brought Pitt his first Oscars. It was received not for acting but for producing. Now the actor has reached that level of stardom when he himself can choose interesting projects for his favorite directors and the appearances in the minor roles for the film that he produced. Despite the status of one of the most influential people in Hollywood, he does not forget about self-irony. In the second part of Deadpool, he briefly appeared in the role of Invisible. Here he is literally for a couple of seconds at the moment of death of his character. As Ryan Reynolds said, Bradley Pitt agreed to the role for a cup of coffee. On the Jim Jeffries show, he plays the role of pessimistic weather forecaster who supports the theory of global warming and makes a disappointing forecast for humanity. However, in 2019, we see the comeback
to big cinema.
He is working with Quentin Tarantino for second time in the nostalgic movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Most of the critics predicted an Oscar nomination for the Best Supporting Actor, but Pitt himself claims he is not particularly excited about participating in the awards season. But let's be honest, this was the 6th time that Bradley became famous. Okay? Yeah, at the time he was already a legend, but now he became not just a superstar in Hollywood in the whole world, but a legend in the meme department, and this is way more important. Soon after, he played in science fiction film Ad Astra by James Gray. His hero sets off on a journey through galaxy in search of his father, dealing with psychological problems along the way. Bradley Pitt has long proven that he's not just a handsome blue-eyed man just like me,
but
a versatile actor who does not afraid to take risks and do not rely only on his appearance. The main question is still open. Why he always eats in his mood. Each individual case has its own reason. In Ocean's 11, his character is constantly on the move and he eats wherever he can. Playing death in film Meet Joe Black, he does try simple human joys. If you're a young actor or director, I will give you one tip. When actor eats in frame, it makes him more human. A subconscious connection between the viewer and hero appears based on synchronization of food instinct. So it was the journey of father of mukbang genre. Which role of Bradley Pitt is your favorite? Write it in comments. And if you like this video, liked it, subscribe to the channel, and if you want more content from me, I have a Patreon, and if you want to help to the victims of war in Ukraine, all the links will be in the description.